Hello, Gary Nasai Minasan. Today we're gonna talk about Kamen Rider, the winter movie, Gotchard and Geats, Strongest Chemy, Great Gacha Operation. This movie is a blast to watch. It is very fun. There's a lot of good in the movie, but then at the same time, there's also a few things that I would like to talk about at the end of the video, which is gonna share my thoughts on one particular problem of this entire movie itself. But the problem is only for my own personal preference. Okay, so with that being said, let us start off with the goods. Okay, so one of the best thing in this movie is the chemistry between the Geats cast and also the Gotchard cast. I feel like all of them gel really well. How they distribute the character, like according to pairs, and even like a trio. I think they did a fantastic job in doing so. When we get to see Nago together with Renge and Sabimaru, I felt like that is super duper fun when we actually see Nago getting like carried away by Exit Fighter, just boom, fly away, like bye bye Nago. And then when we found Nago, like she's like lying on the floor crying, like, I don't want to do this anymore, something like that. I think that is like super duper fun. I really love that. And I also really love the interaction between Spana and also Buffa, like how both of them are very arrogant character, but at the end of the day, they actually they're able to humble themselves down to really look at the people around them and call them friends and call them nakama, and actually walk together to take down a bigger foe, something like that. Okay, so I think that is something really interesting for us to actually see as well. And lastly, character Houtaro and Keiwa, both like when we saw Houtaro and Keiwa interacting with one another, is like seeing a bigger brother taking care of a younger brother or something like that. Because throughout the entire movie, I really felt like Houtaro managed to show that he is still a kid, he is still a teenager, he is still in school, and that is like one of the best part about his character. You might be thinking to yourself that, hey, Houtaro seems a little bit too easygoing in the movie itself. At the beginning, I also think similarly as well. Like I also think like, hey, this should actually take place in between the introduction of Dread and before, like after Sabimaru get controlled by Dread and all those stuff, and this is like what happened before the Glion introduction. This movie take place in between these two events itself. Okay, so Houtaro should have, like got a little bit more serious with how the series actually goes, like how Sabimaru almost died and he's like in fear of killing Sabimaru and all that stuff. So all these things it should have caused Houtaro to be more serious. But how come in the movie itself Houtaro seems like a kid, like he's like so focused on himself of like how he want to defeat Ace, like he doesn't care about other people's safety at all. And after I really think about it, it is quite obvious, okay, because how he views the whole incident with the level 10 Chemy cards is that he's viewing it in the perspective of game, because right from the get-go, Cross Wizard actually says, okay, like, hey, if you want to be friends with me, let's play a game, okay? If you win the game, I'm gonna become friends with you. So right from the get-go, Houtaro is entering this whole thing with the intention, with the idea that, hey, this is a game, this is all for fun, and I should have I should enjoy myself, okay? So he's like, there's no tension at all, like he's not feeling any threat. So that is how that is why he would actually go ahead and like, like just sabotage himself by following Ace everywhere. I think that's like super duper fun, and that is really interesting for us to see as well. The character interaction between Ace and Rene, like we don't actually see them talking to one another, and we don't actually get to see Rene affected by Ace a lot throughout the entire story itself. Like Ace doesn't say any encouraging words to Rene at all. And most of the time they are just kind of like the cool duo, they know what they are doing and all those stuff. Okay, so that is quite interesting if you really think about it. But at the same time, there's one part of the movie where they are inside X Fortress and they're just doing the promotion for the Kitsune Udon and also the Tanuki, not the Kitsune Udon, the Kitsune Soba and also the Tanuki Soba, I was like, bro, what are you doing, man? Like, I really applaud their bravery to do such an obvious product placement in the halfway throughout the movie itself, because that is insane, man. Like, just how the soba is being placed, it is so obvious that they really want you to go and buy the soba and go try it yourself. And not gonna lie, after seeing that happening, I might just buy the Tanuki soba and the Kitsune soba. Okay, so if you want to see my thoughts on the soba itself, comment in the comment section below, because whether or not you want to see it, I'm still gonna do it. Okay, so that is something that I was reminded of. Okay, like I was like, hey, I forget to do something, I forget to review something, and I felt like this movie that just give me a reminder I should review the Kitsune soba and also the Tanuki soba crossover with the Kamen Rider Geats itself. Okay, so really crazy style, but that is the good part about the movie. Okay, like the character and all the stuff, and other than the chemistry itself, I feel like another thing that they did really well is capturing the essence of the character from the Geats cast itself, because most of the time when we come to the movie crossover, sometimes you're gonna feel like the character loses their essence, loses their soul when it comes to the movie. Like, they are not acting like how they are supposed to act from the series itself. But in this movie, I felt like they managed to capture the Geats character super duper well, man. Like when we saw like how let me just start with Buffa. Buffa has improved so much throughout the whole year of Geats, and at the end of Geats, the finale of Geats, we actually saw him enjoying the beef with the rest of his colleague. It means he has, like, you know, like he has stepped out from his shadow of becoming a lone wolf and all those stuff. Like he's no longer a lone wolf, okay? He no longer carry the sin of his friend's death, Toru, if not mistaken, on his shoulder. And he's open to interact with other people. He's open to he has seen that if he wants happiness, he should do it together with other people, something like that. And we actually saw that in him in this episode, in the movie itself, where he encouraged Spanner, like, hey, if you want to win, let me help you, okay? Like, you should use me and all those stuff. And that is so good when we actually get to see Buffa, like, being who he is as a character in the movie itself. Like, even Keiwa, we actually get to see his ideal dream. Like, his ideal world is like he become a police officer, and he feed Tanuki soba to the criminal, and then the criminal is gonna cry and like, oh yeah, it is me, I'm the one that does it and all that stuff. But Keiwa is who he is, okay? He wants to help people. He helped Houtaro all the way, and bro, Dion Kurama, the craziest character in the franchise. Like, she's super duper rich, okay? And we actually get to see how she solved the problem with Exit Fighter. It's with money, okay? Like, just spend money, just give Exit Fighter all the oil that he would want, and that is how they managed to tame the Exit Fighter. That is super duper insane, okay? But at the same time, like I said, they managed to capture all of the character essence, which is super duper good. Another fantastic thing is that they did not actually nerf Ukiyo S. Like, S is strong. From the first scene until the very last scene, he is strong, man. Like, he is still who he is from Geats. They did not like let Gotchard overshine him. They know perfectly how strong Geats is in the movie itself, and that is so cool. I oftentimes when we watch a crossover movie, sometimes you're gonna feel like, hey, how come the previous rider is gonna seem so much weaker compared to the new rider itself? But that is not the case for Geats and Gotchard. It is obviously, it is very obvious that Gotchard is so much weaker than Geats itself. And that is so crazy, man. Like, I think it's so fun in the movie itself, but I felt like the overall thing, the best part of the movie is the character itself, okay? But other than that, I felt like the rest of the movie felt a little bit flat for me, especially when it comes to the action scene, the cinematography. I felt like for some reason they failed to capture the anime-esque fighting scene from Kamen Rider Geats and also in Kamen Rider Gotchard itself, because maybe it's the director problem, I'm not sure, but I feel like the action scene in the movie is very, very weak. There's a lot of close-up scene. I feel like we can't really see a lot of the action. We can't really see the whole picture. If only they really go a lot more wide shot, I think it's gonna be way more fun to actually see what is actually going on in the entire action scene itself. But there's a lot of close up, which caused me to felt like, hey, like the action scene is a little bit meh. Is definitely not as impactful as when we saw it in the series itself. I felt like if the greatest, I mean, I would say so far in movie, okay, I can't really think of a lot of other movie, but the movie that give me the strongest impact on the Kamen Rider action scene is Kamen Rider W Gaia Memory Forever A to Z. I think the action, every single action scene in that movie, I'm able to remember it very, very clearly, because like I felt like they just did it really, really well. It's like very simple action, and yet it managed to stay in your mind, and that is what I want to see for Gotchard and Geats as well. But sadly, we don't actually get to see that, and maybe part of the reason is also because in the series we actually get to see how bombastic the action is, how anime is the action, the action scene actually is. We actually got impact frame, we get to see all of those things, but we don't see those things in the movie at all, and which that is pretty sad, okay, like really, really sad stuff. But then again, that is just a minor complaint for me. So with that being said, let me talk about one last thing that just boggled me throughout the entire movie itself, and that is when Rinne became Kamen Rider Majet. Before I talk about this part of the video, I just want to share with all of you, what I'm about to share is just my own personal preference on how I consume the Kamen Rider media in general. If you are a big fan of my channel, if you have been following me for a long time, you know that throughout my entire channel, usually I focus a lot more on the story side of Kamen Rider rather than the action, rather than the suit and other stuff, okay? Like most of the time I focus on the story. So when I saw how at the end of the movie, Majet got her debut, that is really, really fantastic. I love how Rinne go into the dream world, talk to the father, and that is how she got the alchemist ring. All of those things are good, and all execution wise, all good. My biggest problem with that is the build up. I feel like there is no part in the movie which actually show us that, hey, Rinne wants to be a rider, Rinne wants to join the fight. Like we don't actually see that. Like we don't actually see that she tries to join in the fight and failing to do so. It's not like how in the series itself we actually get to see Valvarat feeling that incompetence in himself when Houtaro says that I am the Kamen Rider, and then like Valvarat be like, F this shit, like, and then he was like, he succumbs to, like, he has no choice but to agree that Houtaro is the Kamen Rider, so I have to go and help the people, something like that. We don't see that from Rinne at all. Maybe from the series we actually got a lot of like teaser that, hey, let us fight together, let us grow strong together, and all that stuff. We have all of those things from the series itself. But if you want to view this movie in general, like as a single individual movie, I feel like in the movie they should have just shown a little bit more of build up for Rinne to becoming a rider itself, because I feel like maybe they are also doing this intentionally as well, because if you really think about it, like no one expected Majet to make an appearance in this movie at all. When the movie was first released in Japan, like there is no trailer. Majet is not in any part of the trailer at all. Throughout the entire trailer, they are focused on level 10 cars, cross wizard. Just all of those things, okay? So there's not a single teaser telling us that Majet is gonna make an appearance. So you can just imagine the big Nani the F moment when the Japanese viewer that is watching the movie in the cinema like losing their minds, like, whoa, Majet, holy shit. Like I can imagine the hype when they are actually in the movie theater itself. Okay, like unlike us, we already saw Majet in the series, and right now we are seeing the debut from that was supposed to be the debut of Majet. So the impact definitely hits a little bit different. So maybe there's also the reason why like they don't want to like tease it and all those stuff. So but it is still a really, really good thing if they just tease it a little bit and just, you know, like make the story a little bit more focused on Rin. Make Rin the main focus of the movie itself. I felt like it's definitely gonna be way much more better because like I said earlier on, like we don't actually see a lot of interaction between Rin and Ukiyo S. Like they don't talk with one another. They only work together, do things together, but they don't have a heart-to-heart talk. Unlike the rest of the like even like we don't see a heart-to-heart talk like how Spanner and Buffa have a heart-to-heart talk. We don't see like Houtaro and Keiwa having a heart-to-heart talk. We don't see that between Rin and S. Like if only in the movie there's a moment in the movie itself where Rin actually like where S actually asks Rin, hey, do you want to be stronger? Do you wish to fight? Something like that. And together with the power of creation and also the power of father, something like that, they created the alchemist ring. If that is how Majet got his power, I think that is gonna be so much more impactful, man. Like I think, but then again, at the same time, that is just my own personal preference of how I wish the story would have gone. Like if the movie just changed their focus a little bit, instead of focusing so much on like Houtaro can still be annoying at the background like how he usually is, but really put Rin at the center stage. I feel like it is definitely gonna be way much more interesting for the movie itself, because at the end of the movie, she is the one that is gonna take down the final villain. She is the one that is gonna defeat the Geats killer itself. Okay, so I think it is definitely gonna be no. Majet is not the one that defeats the Geats killer. Well, I forgot about the final part of the movie, but hey, it is still quite interesting. Okay, like I feel like if they were to really show that the introduction of Majet is definitely be really, really wise if they were to actually do that. But like I said, that is just my own personal preference of how I want the story to go. It doesn't mean that is a big complaint, just a little thing that I wish it could be better. Another thing that I really did not expect, I really did not see coming from the movie itself is Kon. Okay, so Kon turns out to be Ukiyo S Dogo. Like I did not see that coming at all. Like, not gonna lie, in the beginning of the movie when we saw Isekai Truck-kun and a dying dog, I was like, why are we seeing this scene? Okay, like is this gonna be like the origin story of the villain? Like how like Kugimiya, like you killed my dog and now I become the villain of the movie, something like that. But turns out it is not the case. Okay, turns out that dog belongs to Ukiyo S, and that is quite interesting. Okay, like super duper interesting that we actually get to see that, and we get to see an emotional side of Ukiyo S, and I think that is kind of like the beauty of their storytelling as well, because they are trying to show this is not just a movie for Gacha, or this is not just a movie for Geats, but it is a movie for both of them. So the movie actually show us an emotional side for Rinne, and also show us an emotional side for Ukiyo itself. So if you really think about it, so Rinne is supposed to be the main character of Kamen Rider Gotchard instead of Houtaro. So it's like Houtaro right now really does seems more suitable to be a side character, like the annoying kid at the block that you just can't, like, you just want to like ignore and all the stuff. And Rinne could have just taken the center stage and really become the first female primary rider of Kamen Rider franchise history. I think that is also gonna be really interesting as well. Well, hopefully we are gonna see that day coming in the near future of Kamen Rider. Hopefully a female is gonna take the lead one day, sooner or later. It is definitely not a woke culture thing, but right now, so far, when I look at Rinne's character, if she were to take the reign of the franchise since day one, okay, I felt like her character is gonna be so much different, and the relationship between her and Houtaro is also gonna be so much different. Okay, so but with that being said, I think that is pretty much it from me. It has been a long video that you hear me ramble from start to finish. I'm not sure how many of you are still here, but if you made it this far into the video, means you truly enjoy what I have to say for the movie itself. So I just want to thank you for that. And lastly, you can leave this word in the comment section below to let me know you finished the video. And that is, what is a good word, man? Like, let's go with Avenger, because assemble, okay, like cross assemble, we are gonna go with Avenger assemble as well. So with that being said, that is all from me. Hope you enjoy. If you like what you see, you know what to do. Subscribe, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Goodbye.